Hello and welcome. Today we're in the new Tier 9 American hybrid destroyer, the Halford. She's available for tokens and later for coal. She is essentially a weaker Fletcher. She has one fewer gun turrets, and she has essentially the same torpedoes except they have 13.5 kilometer range, and one of her torpedo tubes is replaced by planes. And these are rocket planes, Bearcats to be exact, and they have pretty decent HE penetration. Unfortunately, rocket planes are the worst type of planes, but they're still pretty good because you can spot stuff with them. And I think that's where the strength of the ship is, because she's basically unrivaled when it comes to spotting. Because as a destroyer, you're not engaged in surface combat like a battleship or a cruiser will be, right? You're not constantly firing your main guns, or at least you're not expected to. You instead go around, spot stuff, you torpedo, you cap, but these are things that don't require you to actually be controlling the ship most of the time accurately. You can use autopilot for that. And so you have time to fly your plane around to spot stuff as it's necessary. Although, of course, this means you're not going to be damage farming, right? Which is something that's a little different than how most players will play the game. And I think that's something to consider when you think of purchasing the ship. You're not really going to be setting damage records in this ship, but I think if you play well, you're gonna win games with it. But I think it's a fairly tricky ship to play because getting the balance right on how much you should use planes, how much you should torp, and how much you should use your guns is going to be pretty difficult. I have focused, if you saw my build earlier, you probably noticed that I focused on torpedoes. And that's because, well, as a Fletcher that's weaker, you really don't want to be in a position where you use your guns too much. Because pretty much any destroyer you're going to fight, you're going to be weaker than them. And so I think it's better to focus on torpedoes because, well, that's where the damage is going to come from, isn't it? And honestly, having only one torpedo launcher is not as bad as I thought it would be. Because usually you launch both of them at the same time and one of the launchers usually misses entirely. One of the really cool things about having planes is that you can be effective, or at least be doing something useful for your team, regardless where you are on the map. Right now, I'm chasing down this Ohio. I'm gonna use my guns, and maybe this isn't the best choice, but I'm helping, okay? But if I was playing basically any other destroyer, I wouldn't be doing this. What I would be doing is, I wouldn't even have come over here in the first place. I would be halfway towards the B-cap, if not in the B-cap already, because once this Ohio goes down, a regular destroyer can't contribute anything to the match for quite a while as they reposition, right? The Ohio went down and look at where I am. I'm in the middle of nowhere. The closest ship is 15 kilometers from me. And even when I get to within range of that rune, I can't really do anything, right? But because I have planes, I do always have some options to contribute to my team, right? I could go spot elsewhere on the map, or I could just use these planes to strike. Like, I could hit that rune and probably finish her off. Although I suspect that others are going to do that instead. Yeah. But now I can go and try to hit the Cossack or to spot the Cossack. And I can use the autopilot to just get closer. So I'm actually doing something while I'm repositioning, which is something other destroyers obviously can't do. Okay. Nah, I can't hit the North Carolina. She's just gonna turn in. I could try to finish off the Cossack, maybe do a run. If nobody else, then that would be very useful. Okay, that's fine. I just won't launch the rockets. That way I can turn around and go strike something else. Now, being rocket planes, and there being only 4 of them and not having the highest amount of HP, they do actually get shredded by AA, and I think this is a good thing. Because in some ways I think it might not even be enough, because some destroyers just don't have very good anti-air, and so this kind of a situation can be pretty scary if another destroyer can just keep you spotted constantly. Oh, I mean 7k damage is pretty good, right? Like that's genuinely pretty good. And I might as well open up with my guns for a while. North Carolina is almost assuredly not gonna fire on me. So the plan now should be to take the B cap. Well, we're gonna sink the North Carolina, take the B cap, and then we try to basically brace for half of the enemy team to come from the A cap. Because, I mean, they have a lot of ships. They could win this. Especially since our Preußen, Conqueror, and Zhao are still in the C cap. Right? They're not really in position to properly intercept and support what we have in the B cap. We do have a Montana and a Seattle. I think the Montana is making a mistake by going that far ahead. I think she's just gonna get focused down. She's going up against an Austin, Stalingrad. Yeah, that's a lot of firepower. I'm not gonna try to strike the Austin. Obvious reasons, right? Good AA. Also the fact that she's dead. Would be pretty difficult to get any damage on that. But I think this Minnesota should be a pretty good target. She's slow, she's not the best, most maneuverable ship, and also she's completely full HP, and I'm going to be attacking over an island, which should provide me with, never mind, it won't provide me with any cover from anti-air, but hey, it's the thought that counts, right? And now we are actually in a pretty decent position. We should launch torps. Remember, 13.5 kilometer range, so we can do that pretty well here. And our planes are up in 10 seconds again, so we can use those. I think the Mecklenburg is going to most likely either stop or try to like maneuver around a little bit there. I don't think she's gonna go full speed. So I get to launch some more planes. Okay, the Seattle went down. Oh, my ship is spotted. What? I guess it must be radar from Stalingrad. Anyway, we can go strike the Minnesota again, because she is on the very edge. The only thing I'm worried about is the Kitakaze right now. The big ships, they don't really affect me too much. I mean, they're not gonna kill me is what I mean. The Kitakaze might though, if she just spots me. Okay, that might not be a bit ahead. Oh, we hit the Mecklenburg. Very nice. Oh, wasn't a very good drop on the Minnesota, but wow. The flooding actually finished off the Mecklenburg. That's excellent news. Okay, time to just go around the island and try to torpedo the Minnesota again. By the way, notice the fact that once I finished with the planes, torpedoes are up again, right? I launched torps before I launched the planes. And I found that this was actually pretty nice. On more open maps, you could torp, go fly around with planes, come back and torp again. It lined up pretty nicely. I think I might actually open up on this Minnesota. I have a smoke screen available, I have a lot of HP, and if she actually wants to shoot at me, she's going to have to turn her entire ship, which does increase the chance that she gets hit by torps. Also, it forces her not to focus on my battleship. And should maybe possibly open up an angle for the Preußen to fire in a moment. Stalingrad is firing at me, but Stalingrad has pretty low damage per minute, so I'm not too worried about her. I think Stalingrad can just keep firing at me if she wants. I have plenty of HP for that. Okay. Oh, and it's even AP. Wow, it's very difficult to deal significant damage as a Stalingrad to a destroyer with AP, because you're basically treated like a battleship. You only deal over pen damage. And now, because she's fairly stationary, we can try to strike her with rocket planes from the side. The game isn't settled at all though. We have more ships, but our Conqueror is pretty dead, I think. Okay, oh yeah, this is a bad drop. Damn. That was a very poor drop. Anyway, I might as well start opening up on the Stalingrad. I'm gonna try AP. Unfortunately, the Conqueror went down exactly where I would like to torpedo. So I'm not entirely sure if these will work that I launched. It wouldn't have been my first choice of where to aim. Stalingrad's probably gonna shoot at me again, but it's Stalin radar. She only gets like one salvo from this, especially with the time it took to actually turn the turrets. So I can just smoke up, and now they don't see me. We also know that Kitakaze isn't over here, so I don't need to be worried about that. Basically, right now we're just waiting for Asashia and Preußen to get into a better position. Planes are up in a moment, but I'm not entirely sure if it's worth trying to use them. Especially right now. In a few seconds, once the St. Vincent is in a little bit of a better position to actually drop. Right now, the angle would be bad against Stalingrad, and St. Vincent strike would require me to go through Stalingrad's full AA. Besides, right now might actually be a good time to torp. Because they seem to be intent on standing still for a little bit in there. Now the question is, do I go for the B cap or should I go for the A cap? I should probably head for the A cap. I think it might be a better choice. Anyway, strike on the St. Vincent. She's pretty perfectly broadside. Well, another 6k damage, I'll take it. I am located though, so this does give us some information. Kitakaze is not more towards where the Stalingrad and St. Vincent are. Otherwise, Preußen or Asashia would be located instead, right? And I imagine it's the Kitakaze that has RPF. I don't know though. I'm just gonna start firing anyway, because Preußen is obviously gonna try to fight the St. Vincent, and if I can draw fire from that, that's useful. Also torpedoes, so we know Kitakaze is actually somewhere around me. Right? Yeah, hello. I don't want to fight this. I'm gonna fire a few salvos, get the Kitakaze to be defensive, and I'm gonna just turn away. Because this is the kind of range where I think I would lose. If we were a little bit closer, or the Kitakaze didn't have basically the element of surprise, I think this would have been fine. But because she engaged me, I might just end up fighting her and then end up running into, I don't know. I didn't count the torps, maybe she only launched one set over there. I'm not sure if this was the right choice not to engage her fully. Because right now I'm gonna go closer and I'm gonna probably fight her until one of us dies. But this time I'm going to have the element of surprise probably, so maybe it'll be a little bit better. Especially since we will be closer range. I don't really know why I launched the planes here. This isn't the greatest choice. It's probably not gonna do much damage, but hey, I guess it does force the Kitakaze to turn, right? So she will be a little bit less ready to engage in the gunfight. Yeah, look! I got a whole bunch of damage in before she even really got the fire in return. Yeah, this was very good. Wait, double strike? Oh! I guess one of the torps hit the hit the St. Vincent and sank her. Right now, I'm gonna stay angled away from where the Kitakaze sank because I don't know exactly when her torps should be available. Maybe they aren't, probably aren't, but they could be. So I'm gonna be a little bit safer. And I think it's probably quite important considering the Zhao went down just now. So it's just me and the Asashio. Although, to be fair, it will be very difficult for the Stalingrad to do anything against either of us. Sure, a radar could potentially sink me, but even that's not a guarantee, right? Because Stalingrad only gets 2 salvos during the radar, I believe. And dealing 4,000 damage in a destroyer, unless I'm completely broadside, that's a little tricky. Oh! Yeah, never mind. Asashia has 14,000 HP, so unless she basically like open water engages the Stalingrad for like a minute, yeah, I don't think the Asashia is gonna go down. Anyway, planes available again, and now that we have the A-cap, this game is pretty much guaranteed as our victory, right? Unless both of us die, there's just no chance, because even if the Stalingrad takes the B-cap, like if she goes around the island or just goes for the C-cap, either way, it's gonna be 2 caps versus 1. I'm gonna go a little wider in case the Stalingrad tries to do something sneaky, but I guess she didn't, so I'm guessing she's either going C or coming back to B. Basically, she's where I pinged. I'm just gonna head towards the cap zone, because I want to do some more of that. Oh! Wow. Yeah, this isn't the greatest way to drop. I'm not even sure if I can have any rocket planes hit now. Because, well, regardless, yeah, the angle is gonna be extremely bad. Half the planes are already dead. Hey, it's fine. Okay, it'll be fine. But she only has 14k HP. We might even be able to do put some heat on her with guns, right? Because it's somewhat Fletcher-ish. Okay, Stalin's gonna fire, I'm gonna turn in. Let's see, how does this first salvo go? Oh, radar's already gone, never mind. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I could try to be a little merciful and open up with my own guns. So let's do that. Let's give Stalingrad a chance to possibly sink me. I mean, obviously this isn't the greatest idea to win the game, but hey, there's almost no chance that the Asashia dies anymore, so... Right now we're just farming a little bit more damage, because we can. Okay, never mind, I guess that's it, right? This plane strike is gonna be the only thing we will be able to do. Maybe we can do 10k damage. Probably not. I don't even know what the theoretical maximum is. Well, another 5k and a fire. But obviously she's going to damage control party the fire. And now the game is over, right? There's 20 seconds to go. And that's it. It was a very nice battle for the Halford. It was pretty close and possibly my highest damage in this ship, as I said in the beginning. Oh, how satisfied are you with... Of course it's not satisfied, it's extremely satisfied. But as I said at the start, you're not gonna be getting damage records in this ship. It's unlikely. It's unlikely. But you're gonna win a lot of games with it, I think. Yay, 2200 base XP. Wow, the Asashia did very well. But honestly, the Stalingrad did better. Feels kinda bad that she lost. Right, look. That's 2000 base XP on a loss. This guy would have hit 3k if he had won. Feels bad. Well, actually it doesn't feel all that bad, but it's a little unfortunate for that guy. 120k damage upon spotting, pretty good. Overall, I would say that the ship really isn't for me, because it just lacks oomph, because you have one fewer torpedo launchers. And I understand the planes are really strong, the spotting is incredible, but just I don't really have the potential to get a big number hit, and that just doesn't feel quite as fun to me. But it's certainly powerful, I'll give you that. It's certainly powerful, just I would say not for me. Although the camo does look pretty awesome. I really like this camo. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.